Ukraine's president warns his country may be on the verge of war with Russia. Tensions between the two countries are at an all-time high after a maritime clash between the two countries. Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby has reaction from the State Department. Good evening, Wyatt.
Good evening, Lauren. Diplomats here say they don't want an all-out conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says he's been in communication with the Ukrainian president this week trying to ease the tension. But Russia is boosting its defenses on the border, and Ukraine is building up its forces in turn.
Ukrainian soldiers are digging trenches on the front line as the latest crisis between Ukraine and Russia shows no signs of abating. It's happening near the disputed Kerch Strait between Russia and its annexed Crimean peninsula. It's the same area in the Black Sea where Ukrainian authorities say Russia fired on 3 of their ships Sunday, seized their crews, and still have them behind bars. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko says Russian President Vladimir Putin is directly to blame.
Putin is simply not hiding anymore that this is his order to use the force and to openly shoot to Ukrainian soldiers.
Putin responding, saying it's Poroshenko who's to blame for escalating the conflict. He says the Ukrainian vessels were traveling in Russian territory without notice. Ukraine's president denies that. He's supporting the move to impose martial law for the next 30 days. Secretary Mike Pompeo and UN Ambassador Nikki Haley say Russia is responsible for the military buildup. State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert wants to see European allies doing more to help Ukraine.
That is something that's enshrined in our national security strategy, encouraging other countries to help one another around the world so that the United States isn't completely, I don't want to say shouldering the burden, but so the United States isn't handling these issues chiefly alone.
Adding to the conflict, the division of the Orthodox Church. In October, Poroshenko and the ecumenical patriarch Bartholomew signed an agreement that would create an independent Ukrainian church. Up until then, the Ukrainian Orthodox had been under the Russian Orthodox jurisdiction. The Russians have since cut ties with the patriarch.
The Russian Orthodox Church is also blasting the Ukrainian authorities, say they're imposing laws aimed at depriving the Russian Church of any of their property inside Ukraine. World leaders like the president of Turkey have called out both Ukraine and Russia, saying they need to resolve the conflict through diplomatic channels. Lauren?
Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby reporting from the State Department.